Welcome one, welcome all to the Funhouse. I am Uncle Salty. This is episode 24, and it's playtime. For the show today, we'll be looking at and talking about the Mattel Creations exclusive New Eternia Snout Spout. First thing I notice is this figure has a new style box. Looks kind of like a shoebox. Fantastic artwork on both the front and the back of the box. On the front of the box, we have Snout Spout, and it looks as though he's charging through an inferno. Then on the back, Snout Spout is standing over some charred remains, possibly one of the snake men. I can see a serpent in the background. Once again, the tagline, original designs inspired by classic concepts, as are all of the Masterverse New Eternia figures. Open up the box, and it has the name of the figure along with a nice little blurb. Snout Spout, heroic water-blasting firefighter. When the dark forces of Eternia pillage towns, Snout Spout charges into the blazing inferno set by their torches to save the villages from their intruders, be they Skeletor or the evil horde. And you can see that there's a cover piece over the figure. It looks like it is the same piece of artwork as is on the front of the box. But no, it's actually different. You can see that the trunk is in a different position, as well as this one is blasting water out of it. We turn it around, and we have yet another fantastic piece of artwork, this time in diorama form. And it looks as though it's some ancient ruins. We have a stone statue of King Hiss on one side and a stone statue of Lady Slither on the other. Excellent piece of art that you can stand behind your Snout Spout figure. Now let's take a look at the figure itself. And we're going to start with the accessories which come in this box. First, we have a backpack with some cylinders of water. We then have two punching fists. We have a short hose, which plugs into the backpack. We have a translucent water piece, which would go into the trunk. We have two more hoses which plug into the bottom of the backpack. There we go. And we have the classic 1980s inspired Snout Spout weapon, the fire axe. Now let's take a look at the size of the figure. Snout Spout stands at 8 inches. And just to get an idea of how massive and bulky this figure is, let's bring in two other figures. The Masters of the Universe Origins Mosquitor and the vintage 1980s tongue lasher figure. So there to just give you an idea of how massive this figure is. And that makes sense that an elephant man would tower over any of the other figures. But there it is. You can see just how massive and bulky this figure is. Now let's take a look at the articulation for this figure. Head is on a ball joint and it moves up and down and rotates side to side. The arms rotate 360 degrees forward and backwards. Maybe swivel at the bicep. Movement up and down at the elbow. And his wrists rotate 360 degrees as well. Snout Spout has an ab crunch. And you can twist at the waist. Movement up and down at the thighs. Double jointed at the knees. A swivel at the boot cut. And his ankles rock up and down and twist side to side. It doesn't say on the packaging, but I'm sure that it has 30 points of articulation, as do all of the new Eternia figures so far. Now let's take a look at the chest plate and the shoulder pads. Both are removable, and the belt is also removable, and you can see the water pressure gauge is articulated as well, and that is removable. Now we'll take a look at the head, probably the most important part of Snout Spout. His ears articulate back and forth, and the tusks even articulate. You can have them pointed outward or back in the regular position. And the trunk is also articulated. You can move it up and down and from side to side. So completely articulated as well. Very nice. Now if we take a look at the back of his head, you can see the translucent yellow on the back of his head. And if you take a flashlight and shine the back of his head, to get his, there we go. You can see that the eyes glow yellow. Very cool. Now we'll take the backpack and plug it into the back of Snout Spout. Takes a little bit of pressure, but that's all right. And the hose plugs into the back of his head. There we go. And it doesn't hinder the articulation of the head at all. You can continue to move that. And you take the hoses, and there's two little notches on the front of the belt that the hoses plug into, just like that. And we take a battle axe and plug it into his hand like that, and Snout Spout is now ready for battle. Very cool indeed. The original toy had the sweet action feature where you could remove the head, pour water into the body, and there was a button on the back, and it would shoot water out of it. This figure makes up for no action feature by replacing that with all of these super terrific updates. The original head was a goofy, sad-looking face. This is obviously a menacing, ready-for-battle face. So, all in all, just a terrific update for this figure. If you're into Masters of the Universe figures, I highly recommend getting this figure. Going to end the video by telling you, my wedding day, that was a beauty. I went to put the ring on the finger of my wife, and she gave me the wrong finger.